So Eric Bischoff says that the Road Dogg Jesse James should go to All Elite Wrestling and be what Tony Khan needs in his creative process. I'm here to tell you why that's absolutely ridiculous, shambolic, and a perfect example of how the old guard in pro wrestling stays cashing checks. Now, Eric Bischoff is a worker above all. Eric Bischoff is somebody that has continued to make money around the professional wrestling business because Lord knows he stopped making money in the business quite a while ago. Obviously, he had time in WCW, WWE, TNA, and continued to dupe many into thinking he was some kind of genius, when in reality, he was more like the Wizard of Oz. You know, once you saw what was going on, you couldn't really unsee the pattern. Now, as far as his comments go on the Road Dogg, this is exactly the kind of grifty, designed for aggregation type statements that get picked up, you know, by aggregators, by channels like mine, by anybody that sees that on its face and immediately, you know, goes to react, and they're like, well, why would they do that? When it comes to the Road Dogg, obviously he just left WWE in a very high-profile fashion. His true kind of claim to fame, and you know the reason that he's kind of stuck around there for years was a Triple H sidekick for, you know, much of the last 25 years. And Lord knows we've seen people come in the door in AEW that have very close ties to Triple H, and honestly, there should be less WWE oversight in AEW, not more. I'm sure, you know, Road Dogg has some people in high places that like him. That's why he keeps getting these chances. But something we should look at right there. Why does he keep getting these chances? Because in the pro wrestling business, it's not as big as one would think. You know, there are tons of companies around the world, but at the top, you know, the same group of people have been working in it, booking it, writing it, controlling it, and letting so few people into this secret kind of group as far as it goes. Like, and I'm not talking about like, you know, just people that are top wrestlers in the promotion. We're talking about those creative staffs. It's a miracle to get somebody new in some of those positions. So with Eric Bischoff suggesting this is just the old guard being the old guard. This is just looking out for one of your own to continue to have the old way prosper, to continue to have less voices, you know, that are new, less engaging people, you know, that are here with, you know, modern times. I'm sorry, but when I think of the Road Dogg, I can't think of any positive creative contribution ever. Can anyone find one for me? Like, I don't know, man. I don't think Will Washington would be arguing with fans that they don't understand the creative. I don't think that is going to come from the people that work in AEW. And the Road Dogg was involved in the WWE. And when I talk about that situation, that was all the way back in like 2017. This is a much less demanding audience of WWE than there even is now. And yet Road Dogg would go on Twitter and say, that's not the story you were told. I'm not saying that the promotions need to lay down to the fans in all aspects of giving in to every single creative whim. It's just, it seems like a fundamental disconnect from, you know, an Eric Bischoff who has, you know, had AEW in his crosshairs for many years. So let's take a look at what he actually, you know, was saying here. So he says, I think if he's got desire to remain in creative personally, I would love to see him sit down with Tony Khan because he's exactly what Tony Khan needs. I'm sorry. I thought I saw, you know, All In do the kind of business it did last year. I'm sorry. I think, you know, 140,000 on pay-per-view every month, you know, I don't think that's something missing from that. I'm seeing, the dual streaming and television deals. I don't think the Road Dogg, fixes any of this, quote unquote. I don't think the Road Dogg taps Tony Khan on the head and basically says, hey, do you see that person over there? You're not thinking about them. Let's start going with it. I don't think that comes from the Road Dogg. He did doubt that the two would be able to mesh well together. He says, if I'm AEW and I may be hanging on by a thread, I don't even know what he's talking about here. But if anybody could describe hanging on a thread, I guess it would be the owner and operator of Real American Freestyle Wrestling, which is dying a death, getting people to show up to buildings and watch on television. He said the first guy I would go to is someone like Road Dogg because he can help. The first guy. I'm in disbelief that Bischoff would say that because let's just give him access to the last 30 years of creative minds in wrestling. Hell, we can even wake up the dead people too. And he says the first guy that I would go to is the Road Dogg Jesse James? Help me. Help me understand this. The Road Dogg is getting brutalized on Twitter by modern WWE fans. But to be fair to him, he was kind of a fall guy here because we know who really runs WWE at the creative level. Unless Tony Khan wants a fall guy to come in, I don't know what other real role there would be for the Road Dogg. He further went on to say he can help specifically with the weaknesses and the flaws in the AEW approach. That would be number one. You notice how he did not name any of these weaknesses or flaws because Bischoff doesn't actually watch the program. I don't know if any of you guys can catch that or not. He says if AEW isn't an option, he noted that James could head to TNA, especially since the promotion needs to prove to AMC that they're worth renewing their current television deal. That's probably the most obvious, most likely place they would land because of their need and his skill set. If not, hopefully Tony will wake up and smell the coffee and take a different approach to business because Road Dogg could help him really a lot. Road Dogg would make Tony look good. He further went on. I know this is lunacy. Like to hear this when you think about this on any level. He says he's a good guy, but he's old school. What WWE has become is so polar opposite of the Road Dogg's primary experience in the business has been. He goes on to talk about WWE being so corporate that he's a square peg and a round hole, and Road Dogg's going to struggle in that. I gotta say, the Road Dogg, I think, is going to struggle in an AEW environment for sure. Because is the Road Dogg going to be able to walk up to, let's say, the top 10 wrestlers on this roster and offer them anything on how to be over in 2026? No. Is he going to be able to walk up to Tony Khan and be like, you know what? I think we should do it like this, boss. No. This is the old looking out for the old and hoping it comes out on the other side somewhere that, maybe he'll get looked out for. People that have worked together before, putting over their homeboys, trying to remain and trying to suck the life force out of something they see in pro wrestling that's new and going on without them. I don't really know if we should be taking business advice from somebody who has been essentially run out of the business year after year after year and has hardly been a success in anything since 1997 in professional wrestling. I saw what happened to TNA. I saw what happened towards the end of WCW. I saw when he was the fall guy in WWE last time in 2019. Perhaps Hulk Hogan said it best. Without him, Eric Bischoff would be selling meat from a truck in Minneapolis.
P-Dub in the house. Go and hit that like button on your way out. Leave a few words and I'll holler back soon. Till we meet again, reach the stars and the moon. Woo!